right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here with another episode. Cowboys Experience brought to you by Law Nation Sport, UK Cowboys. We're about to get this show on its way. Let's go. Yes, indeed. How you guys feeling, man?
I don't know. I don't know what to really say, to be honest. It's just one of those scenarios, Law, where like it's like I feel like you just got hit in the face with a baseball bat before the game even starts. I don't know. Like I don't know what the expression is, but it was just not good. It was just not good.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, got asked that same question yesterday, and the noise I made was just.
Yeah.
If it had to be one team in the NFL to get hit by that, it had to be us. It had to be us.
It had to be us, man. Oh my gosh! And then we seen everybody. We scored the least points, all week one. Only got a chance to kick a field goal and didn't get a chance to visit in the red zone multiple times.
Yeah, that's probably the most annoying statistic is the fact that we can't even get to the red zone. That's probably the most annoying.
Yeah. What about you, Barry? What's going on?
Oh, he's still off. Mike settings.
Oh, Murphy Law. We got to bring him into the building. Murphy Law. That's my third cousin, man. For those who don't know, Murphy Law is my third cousin. But neither here nor there. Just like the start of the season, at least we got 3 points, right? And Michael Parsons showed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't like it was 19-0. Michael Parsons showed up.
Yeah, and in a way, I'm kind of worried because we're having to rely on Michael Parsons too much. Law, like it kind of felt like for me anyway. I felt if it wasn't for Parsons, we would have pretty much D-Law and all that. Like, don't get me wrong, like. We know that these guys can pass through, but it just feels as though they just were not getting to Tom Brady at all during that game. And if it wasn't for Parsons, he brought that different dynamic to that defensive line when he was down at the line of scrimmage. And I'm kind of concerned, like, what's going to happen for the rest of the defensive line if Parsons not there in the line of scrimmage. It's like these guys need to step up and actually start applying the pressure.
Paul, I calculated the score. It would have been at least 34-3 if we didn't have Parsons. The big run that he stopped on Leonard Fournette, when he had to chase him from behind. There was no one in front of Leonard Fournette. And then the two touchdowns that he saved when Tom Brady was in the end zone by those 2 sacks, I think that those would have been touchdowns. So it's crazy. Parsons is that dude.
Yeah.
You're working now, Barry. You're in the building.
How's that? Good?
Oh, Chris.
There we
go.
How you doing, Mr. Barry?
All right. I guess that game was rough. So I think the big plus about everything is we got some experiences of a lifetime for people to have fun at. So
the Cowboys experience was fantastic, man. We had Sam Williams there. You guys got a chance to see the Hall of Famer Drew Pearson, Isaiah Stanback, Jabril Cox. Man, we had a lot of fun out there. And if people don't know, y'all need to come on out to Cowboys experience. We still had a great time there.
That that was tough leaving the building the other night. And you're walking out and then you hear about Dak's news. It's like, oh my goodness.
Well, Jerry said he will be back in 4 weeks. It could be a positive part.
Dr. Jones got it going.
Dr. Barry Jones. Barry Jones. Not Barry Jones, but Jerry Jones. He said he'd be back in 4 weeks. What do y'all feel about that, Mike?
It seems like, funnily enough, we were talking about this, that it's the same injury. If you're a Texas Longhorns fan, that their quarterback had last year.
Oh, wow. And
and
how many
he was
games
out.
he was gone?
He's still struggling. He's playing for Nebraska now and still struggling.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
That's not good news.
Mm. Yeah.
Good job, Mike.
I know. Sorry, I don't mean to bring it down. I don't mean, but I mean, like the thing is like I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor and say
Right.
like, but when you hear the things that they've said, and they've
Right.
said the surgery went well, they put,
Right.
but you know they've had to put screws in. There was no
Mm.
lingering things, but still, the only thing you can't count on is what is Dak's hand going to be like. Not just in the short term, like in the initial recovery, but how's it going to be in the long term? What's his grip? Because his grip might change, which changes like how he throws the ball.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen with that hand, and that's the scariest thing. So like people are like saying, "Oh, 4 weeks, not so bad," and you say, "Yeah, okay, yeah," but what's it going to look like long term as we go down the road?
That's a good observation. And then he didn't look sharp while he was playing, so it's going to take time. And I like to look at it like CeeDee Lamb was the only wide receiver that he had semi rapport with, right? Noah Brown, okay, we understand that. Dennis Houston, he's an undrafted rookie free agent. So Dalton Schultz, yes, he had 9 catches for minimum gain. He's not a guy that's going to be a burner. He's going to be a guy that do the button hook routes, sit in the middle of the field, and he catches everything, but it's not a lot of yards after catch. So now it's one of those things when Dak do get a chance to come back, how many weeks will it take for him to be ready?
Yeah. Because it's the same thing you can say about Michael Gallup. Everybody's saying he could be back next week, and you're like, yeah, okay. He can play a game of football, but he hasn't played football since like what was it, like December?
Right.
So you know you're looking at close to 10 months. How long is that going to take before he gets to any level of playability, if you like?
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, we're going to get right from the horse's mouth on Saturday.
There we go.
Yeah.
Michael Gallup will be in the house at the Cowboys Experience event on Saturday.
Oh, wow. Can't wait to see that.
We will ask him the $1 million question.
You can tell him from another mic. I was asking how he's feeling.
Yes, sir.
Hey, also a friend of the show, friend of Cowboys Experience, Cooper Rush. How do you feel about Cooper Rush, Barry Griffin?
Well, I mean, he had that Minnesota game. I think that was his
right
fame there, but we need to see that consistently. Cooper's had some rough, even in preseason, the last couple of years didn't really look too sharp. And I was, I don't know. I hope, depending upon, how he starts off, or give him the first half. And if it's not going real well, I'd go right to Will Grier right away and give him a shot. Let him play the second half, and let's see what we just need some spark, and which one's going to be that. And if the first one's not, then we got to try it. Now, there's been rumor, I guess, lately, the last 24 hours circulating about Mason Rudolph, but I think, I mean, I want him to give Will Grier a shot personally, and I think he's not afraid to sling it
and run it.
Yeah, and run it, and so
yeah. I mean, what's funny is like when you look at the backup quarterback. Sorry, Paul, that Grier is much more closer to what Dak is than what Rush is. So in terms of what you'd have to do with the playbook isn't as drastic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're exactly the same, Law.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but he's closer to what Dak is than what Cooper is.
Well, when I was at training camp, Will was the best quarterback out there, minus Dak. It was Will Grier. Then it was DiNucci had a pretty good, solid training camp and preseason game over, of course, Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush looked the worst in preseason game, and now he's anointed with the position of being the starting quarterback based upon the Minnesota's game. So that Minnesota game was a great resume for him for the Cowboys. And everybody got to contextualize this too with Cooper Rush and Will Grier. they cut them, and 31 other teams said they didn't even add them to their practice squad. So that means 31 other teams said, those guys ain't
Worth
much
it.
to it yet, worth
Yeah,
it, right? To even put on their practice squad. So
Yeah.
that's very alarming there.
Mm. Yeah, because I think with Cooper Rush, it's not a case of you're like, he's not going to do it, because you got to give him the benefit of the doubt because we've seen him do it. I think what the issue is it was for one game, where this is multiple games. So you're wondering, how does it look with Cooper Rush over a series, over 4 or 5 games?
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, Paul, what you have on it?
I'm sick in minds about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, he did a fantastic job against Minnesota against all the odds. This scenario right now, he's in a much more worse situation because of the state of our O-line right now. There's no ifs or buts about that. I mean, I kind of did my own reassessment how the O-line performed against the Bucks there. Like, I kind of felt like Smith did have glimpses of he looked really great, but the mistakes he did make was very, like, really, really poor. Like, there was the getting delayed out of his out the snap count. It's like he was delayed, and that resulted to Shaq Barrett causing the injury to Dak. So I don't
want to delay.
Yeah. So, and also there was I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was more to do with a communication with Farniak or it's the assignment gap or whatever, but we left Anthony Nelson completely unattended for, and he sat that press conference. I think that it was on the second quarter, I believe.
Yeah.
But it was not good. But
yeah,
overall, like, for the time he spent practicing the left tackle since Tyron got injured, I can't really complain too much, but it just seems like the 2 mistakes he made was probably the most devastating that caused the injury to Dak. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, the continuity with the O-line right now. Where does it, like, how do we fix it? How is Joe Philbin going to progress going forward? Like, the fact that we've not really had a solid offensive line, like, it seems to be chopping and changing ever so often. There's not, like, it's not like a couple of seasons ago it was always going to be Smith, Frederick, Collins, Martin, and it's always like right now it could be Jason Peters one week, it could be him playing left tackle, it could be him replacing Steele. We don't know.
Yeah, what do you guys think about throw him out there right now, shape or not? But Jason Peters at left tackle, and
I would.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, these wins are very valuable. You got to win every game you can. Everyone in the NFC East won last week, so we got to get back to it. After this week, we played 2 divisional foes, and we got to make sure that we are on beat and on par. And speaking of that, with the offensive line, allowing 4 sacks, allowing the quarterback to get hit 8 times, and we see everybody is a hit away as relates to being a casualty for your quarterback. So you got to have your best 5 out there. And I truly believe that there's not a offensive lineman on this planet that hates run blocking. Get back to running, stop getting cute, Kellen Moore, and just run the ball.
I can vouch for that, Lockers. I used to play O-line, and I had more fun doing run blocking than I did pass protection.
Get your nose in. Just get your nose in.
Because pass protection, you're basically taking a back step to take the hit, essentially, especially if some guys come to bull rush you. But if you're run blocking, you're the guys enforcing the action.
Moving forward.
Right. You want to drive. You
doing the hitting, right?
You want to do the hits. You want to drive the guy down the ground.
You put in your nose in.
And also, we saw a snippet of the resume of Tony Pollard blocking for the quarterback. That's a big no-no. You can't get cute with that.
I don't know what I don't know what Kellen was thinking in that scenario. Yeah, it's pretty evident like who the better run blocker in the running back position is. That's clearly in shows, but yeah.
Yeah.
And since you played offensive lineman, Farniok looked pretty good. I think it was more so the communication.
I think that was more down to that. It's like the lack of, like I said, the continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't played together.
Yeah, and the amount of double teams I saw when it was so unnecessary, like I think like that's where the confusion is. Like it's like yeah, left tackle and left guard were going for the same block when you're leaving the edge unattended. It's like, okay, there's definitely there's something not right here. So either that's on Philbin or it's still on the play call. Because normally when you're on the O line, well, me personally, from my experience was. Biadasz should be calling out what the strength side is, if it's strong left or strong right,
or where the mic is.
Yeah, exactly. And you would determine where your blocking position should be, where you should know your assignment, whatever you're going to be blocking, the A gap or the B gap or whatever. Like, or depending how the defensive linemen are lined up as well, if it's a one tech or a nose or whatever, and that still determines how you position yourself.
Yeah. Now the good news is the Cincinnati Bengals. If we want to just fast forward to next week, as Kenny the Shark into the building. I wish we had some shark music. Next time you come, Kenny, we're gonna have some good old shark music for you.
I should have got the cello out and
Speaking about Kenny, let's just jump to something here because Kenny with some of his career too. So Kenny and everybody. So we didn't get to it yet, but the Cowboys are in a big kind of situation with adversity right now. And so if we jump to some life lessons as well from football, as well as a life lesson standpoint, I know you personally had some ups and downs and adversity as well. Tell us and maybe tell the audience, how you handled, things that could help benefit people in life with all the stuff that's going on in the world. And then what the Cowboys, how that's relating now, what they need to do, because they get some big time adversity. So if you can share some thoughts and some wisdom nuggets for us here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like chicken nuggets. But we at adversity, that's a good word. A big word if you let it get to you. I think I got a word that is combative to adversity. It's called resilience. Resilience is how do you stay composed through adversity? And it come from me, just come from a faith base, just knowing everything. I just got a big faith in everything, even being optimistic about the Cowboys. I just got big faith that something will happen. These guys are going to click because, we hear the same old thing all the time. Everybody put their pants on just like the other man.
Yeah.
I understand that, but it still comes with a culture. I think my parents built a culture of faith, and so throughout life, I had to buy by that culture. That culture kept me through adversity. I lost a multimillionaire, lost all my money after being a Dallas Cowboy and a Buccaneer. I'm not ashamed. I'm an avid shopper at thrift stores, but that's what resilience will do to you. Humility will get you through adversity. I've met some people in my life that has blessed my life, that has encouraged my life, and that has been a culture throughout my life as a kid. My parents being pastors, so if you tell people, you hear people talk about the Shark on the football team, they always say, "Man, I don't even know when I did stuff." It just always said, even my college teammates and the Cowboy teammates, I just met for a little bit with Warren Sapp a minute ago. He's in town, so I had to hook him up with golf. So, but relationships matters,
right?
And And as a team, relationships like Barry is part of my team, and my circle is really not that big, but Barry is in that circle. I can
Mm-hmm.
call Barry. Barry will encourage me some mornings when he don't know it, but God knows that when Barry send me a text in the morning, I just want to let you know how much I'm thinking about you and appreciate you being in my life.
Right.
That
Words
just
matter, man. Yes,
that gives
indeed.
me, yeah, words matter, and I think um, when I talk about the word culture,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you're not in the culture of faith, you're not gonna believe that you can do anything. So Mike
Mm-hmm.
McCarthy has to build a culture of faith that saying, and these guys you build a culture by spending time with each other. And I trust Barry because I spent some time with him. I trust Charles Haley because I spent time with him. I trust Tony Tolbert because I spent time with him. I trust Emmitt
Mm-hmm.
Smith because I spent time with him. If you don't spend time with people, we'll never build a culture that, man, I don't want to mess up because I don't want to mess up because I'm uh, Charles Haley's going 100 miles an hour and I'm going 80.
Right.
No, we build a culture because we fighting, we playing for one another. And I'm not saying they're not, but then those penalties, Jimmy Johnson built a culture. Either
Uh-oh.
we gonna get rid of you or you gonna abide by the culture.
Right.
And and I just don't see it. I don't see it. And to get past adversity, man, we got to be a family. We got to be a brotherhood. And some way doing between Monday through Saturday night, man, we
Mm-hmm.
got to spend some time together and say, look, man, I'm gonna give it all I got. That's all I can ask from you, but you gonna give me all you got. And that's all I'm gonna ask.
Hey,
And we can
Kenny,
go
let me
back on
let
the
me add
tape
this to it.
and see that.
Let me add
Yeah,
this to it for what you said about the reason why you guys may have played closer together because y'all spend
yeah,
time with each other. That was the best currency.
yeah,
And I look at it like handling
absolutely.
adversity or going through things is like a knot tied up on a rope. When the opposing force
Yeah.
is pulling on that rope, that knot, it
Uh
don't loosen, it get tighter.
it gets
and
tight.
and,
Yeah.
and that's what you had with the team,
Yes.
with the Cowboys team, when the opposing forces, when Mike was in trouble or Emmett had a situation,
We was at the
then we need a
courthouse.
play from a special team, or you guys was outside of the court,
Yeah.
outside of the football field at the courthouse. Y'all had that culture.
Yes.
So that's what this team
Absolutely.
need to understand. The quarterback down, we need to be like that knot on that rope. When the opposing forces is pulling,
Yes.
we need to make sure that we don't false start. We need to make sure we're not offside. We had 10 penalties last
Right.
game. We need to lessen that. So you're right. You're right on the money, man. You giving me all type of pump up talk right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Any more questions? What's up, my friends? How you doing up there?
I'm
Yeah,
doing well, Kenny. How's yourself?
it's been a while.
Yeah, man, I'm doing great, man. We can rally around. See that when we had the culture, I'm going back to the
Mm-hmm.
culture. You
Mm-hmm.
you think we said, "Oh crap, here comes Jason Garrett"? No, we knew he was going to win
Wow.
because he was into the culture.
Yeah.
But do they believe Cooper Rush is the guy,
Mm.
or you just saying, "Oh, next man up. We'll see what we can do"? No, we knew we was going to win with Jason Garrett. We knew we was going to
Mm.
win with Steve Berline because the culture was there.
No man for themselves. Yeah. Everybody
Nah,
sticking together.
yes,
Do you think there's a bit of that in this Cowboys culture, a bit of every man for himself?
I can't say that honestly.
For sure, yeah.
Because you got to do the litmus test. It's just what I see.
Yeah.
I don't see. It wasn't. You can pull up some old tape of us. You can see guys getting in each other's face on the sideline.
Right.
Because we was holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
Don't just go to the sideline and not. It's not being combative. Man, you better than that. And with
It's
somebody,
constructive
Charles
criticism.
Haley or Ken Norton Jr. telling me, man, you come on, man, come on, man. That I know I'm better than that. That encouraged me. It wasn't an insult.
Right.
It was. I need to step it up.
Yeah. It's like you need that. It's like you need that constructive criticism to elevate yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's because that's what happens when you become a brotherhood. Jimmy Johnson said some bad words to me that my daddy never said to me. But I know if he didn't say it, I knew I was in trouble. I knew he was saying it because he knew I was better than that.
Yeah.
And I think the culture is, man. The culture has to be there, and you got to build a culture. Somebody got. If you want to take the turn, take one for the team, release somebody, and get them out of there. So you know you need business. If you want to keep having these penalties, you got to go. Because apparently you don't get it. But I guarantee you, somebody sitting behind him say, when I get in here, the next time, I don't want to mess up. So I'm going to do the right thing. And he's going to be a dog.
Going to be a dog.
I'm not.
So speaking of that, Kenny, who established that? Do the head coach here establish that, or the players? Because there's a lot of conversation that's going around that, hey, Mike McCarthy really not leading the ship. He don't even know the play books or the plays that's called the terminology and the language that Kellen Moore have. And on top of that, even Dan Quinn don't have the ability to make certain moves and things like that. So who established this, Mr. Kenny? That mindset.
Jimmy Johnson.
Well, he's long gone.
It starts at the top.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It starts at the top. I don't care how you slice it.
Yeah.
It starts at the top. And then when it comes down, who's at the top after Jimmy Johnson? Then you have a Michael Irvin or Troy Aikman. Now they at the top when it leaves the rim of Jimmy Johnson. Defensively, you got a Charles Haley, you got a Ken Norton Jr. Then they become the top on the defense, and we hold each other accountable, man. It's a culture built on how the head coach want to run his, and he didn't back down to nobody. The only thing between Jimmy Johnson and my daddy was about 6'1", about 250 pounds and black, and Jimmy was about 5'8",
5'8",
and white, little white guy. But he had the same intensity as my daddy.
Right.
That he was a father figure to me. Yeah.
So you feared Jimmy. You feared him.
Yes.
Just like You fear who else?
Because I feared him, and I didn't fear Barry Switzer because the culture changed, because the head changed. Then I went to Tampa for Sam White's. I really was out of control. Then Tony Dungy came in and changed the coach.
Yeah.
So I wanted to knock myself out for Tony Dungy because he established the culture.
Yeah, those are some good ones.
That's good stuff. Do you think that Mike McCarthy is establishing the culture?
He could. I just don't see it.
Okay, that's all I wanted to. That's my one time pushing in on that.
because I knew Jimmy Johnson would have been on cut some of those people that's making all these penalties. Because it ain't just different people, random people. It's same people doing the penalties. Son, if you don't want to buy into this culture, we gotta let you go. It ain't no apology. And Jimmy said it is best. I don't cut you. I never cut a guy in my whole career. You cut yourself.
Yep.
Famous words, man.
But you start making some adjustments. I guarantee you, some people establish a culture, and no coach had to do it. The players started doing it.
I think a good example of that, Kenny, is you said a couple of locker room stories, and a lot of guys felt like that. They were like, "Man, we can't let each other down. Jimmy's gonna get rid of us. We don't step it up here. We gotta." And everybody seemed to hold each other accountable more because of that, because of the guy at the head of the top.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and I tell people all the time too. I say we.
Oh, it's just went muted there.
Murphy Law.
No, he's back. He's back.
Y'all had an amazing team, man. Y'all guys were good, and I said, hey, "What are you saying? We were good." So I'm going back to the culture now. I said we won a good football team. We had a scared football team. I was scared to lose my job, man.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I knew it could happen at any time. Because the culture was set. It ain't no friends. We weren't friends with the coaches.
Right.
If you was gonna be out of there, you was gonna be out of there. We had an incident with a guy sleeping in meetings. It's an old story. You guys probably heard it. Man, and Jimmy came in there and said, "Hey, man, you're going to be inactive Sunday." This was Thursday. You're going to be inactive Sunday, so you can have time to catch up on your sleep.
So, I mean, what you're saying ties in with one of the questions. One of the guys sending in here saying, like, was it that Troy and Barry, obviously Switzer, really did they hate each other? And I think it's more of what you're saying is that there was just a separation of player and coach.
Yes, absolutely. I saw more of a friendship with Barrett, instead of a coach that believed in a little guy from Albany State University that was always an underdog. There's always the smallest in his league, which I can't say that now. I'm a little fat guy now, but at the time I was playing as an underdog. People said I wasn't going to play. They said this, but Jimmy believed in me, and so when he believed in me, and I seen him cut third rounders that he drafted because you're not up to my standard.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Kenny, because if you look at not something that throughout the whole part, like even the Dallas offensive line back in the 90s, like Nate Newton, Tourney, and all that, these guys were undrafted people that no one else wanted, and Jimmy changed those guys. He changed the culture and their mindset of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a mindset, man. Jimmy made me believe that I could run through the wedge, which they don't do anymore.
Yeah.
He made me believe I could start in the league and come in at a nickelback and start the Super Bowl 27. Man, I came from HBCU, man. That's unheard of. I picked oranges all of my life. But Jimmy made me believe more in me, and I didn't know I had that extra in me. But Jimmy made me believe it.
My goodness, man. It's about to bring me in tears because every time I hear storylines about players, they talk so positively about Jimmy. And every time I go to the stadium, I look up and there's the Ring of Honor. I see the guys that he coached. I see the guys that he coached up in there, but I don't see Jimmy. And I don't think that people need to hear this, but they're going to hear it right now. There are some people that say curses are not real, but I don't think a lot of people are busting mirrors and walking under ladders and going into the mirror and going into the bathroom, looking into the mirror, yelling Bloody Mary 5 times. So there got to be something along the way with crazy things happening around the star with Jimmy Johnson not being in the Ring of Honor. What's your thoughts on that, Kenny? if you can.
Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a real thing. And I've heard it come out of Jerry's mouth that he said it's going to happen.
Right. He said that. Was it last year?
I hadn't seen it. Maybe it's in the planning. Yeah, he said it before he went into the Hall of Fame. I heard it with my own ears. Now it's got to be because there's some players I can tell you now don't like it because we wouldn't have had. It was Jimmy. It was Jimmy and Jerry. They all putting this together. Why not we celebrate all of you guys for the accomplishments that we have? And and he deserves to be there. He's a big part of everything. I know he's a big part of my life. I'm forever grateful for Jimmy Johnson and the Jones family for bringing me here and taking a chance on a little guy from HBCU.
I think that was one of my favorite Jimmy quotes, Kenny. I think, like you said, he didn't look at you from Albany State. He looked at you as what you could be, what he's going to treat you to, push you to be. He didn't look at you as what you are, because then you remain the same. I think that was something, a quote like his, where he challenged you and pushed you and wanted you to be better because he saw that in you and you could do it. So
he brought people. When you think of culture, I love that word, man.
Yes, indeed.
He brought people in. He drafted people to take my position. He brought in other guys to take my position. So can you imagine how practices was? When I got another guy on the other side that you just drafted to challenge me, take my spot. Can you imagine how practices was?
I cannot imagine.
I heard Michael Irvin didn't like Jimmy Smith when he was drafted or what have you. He didn't want Tim Brown to come. Right? He was like, no, this is my spot. Tim Brown was good though. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Tim Brown would have been nice, but we still were able to prevail.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that's establishing a coach.
Yeah.
I need to bring some people in here to compete and let you know your job ain't safe. It's too many people get complacent, man. Because I see complacency sometimes when I'm watching the game. I can tell how they run out the tunnel in that San Francisco game last year.
Okay.
They came out the tunnel, and you can ask my wife. I was sitting up in the suite up there, and I said, "It's done deal." She told, "What you talking about?" I said, "They flat as a pancake."
Wow.
And everybody was in the suite just teed off. They using all kind of nice Christian words. And I was literally laughing. What are you laughing about? I said, man, this happened coming out the tunnel.
Right.
But go back to the 93 NFC Championship when San Francisco had to come here. Just look at the beginning of the game when we came out the tunnel.
Okay.
We got in the middle. We got in the middle of the introduction. Because you're not gonna come even. We don't even want you to get introduced in Dallas State.
That mentality long gone, man.
So we set the culture.
Set it.
Yeah. We set the standard around here. We don't even want you to get introduced here. That's a disrespect.
Good stuff.
Man, it's just prepared, man.
Good stuff, young fella. That's awesome.
Are you guys ready to go play? I know you got.
Yeah. I think we're all ready to play now after that there, Coach.
Man, I'm ready to go play, man. Give me the helmet. Give me the pads, man.
I've got my helmet and pads still.
Man,
I've still got mine.
Yeah. I got one right here. Here you go, Kenny. You know,
There is
I'm ready to put it on right now.
Oh, you ready? You ready to go?
You're ready, man.
I was talking to Law before we started. There is still the battle, Kenny, when I come and see you, of the chicken wing eat off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
still on. That's still on. Yeah.
Don't tell on me now, Kenny.
Yeah, the last time you were on the show, we made the bet, and I was like, "No, I'll eat more chicken wings on you." And Barry's just shaking his head, like, "No, you won't."
Yes, indeed. Were they spicy or were they bland? What kind of chicken wings y'all talking?
It's got to be spicy.
It's got to be buffalo style, surely.
Bone in, bone out.
And
I bone in.
Yeah.
Who eats boneless wings?
No, I don't know who eats boneless wings. That shouldn't even be. That's not even considered chicken wings. Right? Chicken breast.
I've got a word for them, but I'm not going to mention it.
Boneless wing is a souped up chicken nugget.
That's literally what it is.
It is.
Well, let me ask you this, Kenny. Is this 2022 team, the Dallas Cowboys team, are they a boneless wing or they a bone-in wing?
Oh, there we go.
The transition.
Oh, man,
the master of the transition.
I still think they got a little bone in there.
They got a little bone in there. Okay, good.
I think they still got a bone. They just got to step it up, man. Because it sounds. I want to. It sounds like. Let me put it this way, and I'm just being. We on here. I don't like scripted questions.
Yeah.
Don't send me no script asking me no questions, because if you give me script questions, I'm gonna give you scripted answers. So when you ask a question like this, I'm gonna put it like this here. I enjoy just having side money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Because we still relevant because we got rings. But if y'all don't want to get rings to be relevant when you come back to town, hey, that's on you.
True.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes
sense.
But don't show up to an event. Don't show up to an event and say you don't want to sign autographs. And call me an OG when you haven't done anything. Humility will always lift you. But the higher you think you are will always give you a chance to come down. So I'll take up the offering in a minute for that message.
Yeah, I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, we see you Saturday, man. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Kenny, for jumping on. That's awesome. And
hey, man, I'm gonna tell you something. I tell everybody, and Barry, we do the men's group on Thursdays. I might miss you tomorrow, but look, man, I love you guys, and I mean that, because me and Barry, we talk about this all the time in our men's group. Men don't like to hear other men say we love you, but I love you guys, and thanks for having me on. This is a thrill to me to just you guys invite me over, man. So I appreciate you, man.
The Legend Podcast, man. I appreciate you.
And Kenny, I'll probably see you in December, my friend.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
See you this weekend, Kenny, man. Appreciate you for jumping in, man.
To it, man. Let's do it, man. Let's hang out.
Yes,
indeed. Man, love you guys. You guys stay. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Just keep one foot in front of the other, man. They'll never back up, man. They'll never back up. Just keep one foot in front of the
that's
other. Just keep
Yes,
moving
sir.
forward, man.
As
You
they
guys doing a
say,
great job,
every,
man.
every marathon
Hey.
starts with a single step, as they say.
Right.
Oh, facts.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big facts.
Man, all you guys are preaching today, man. Good. Hey.
Hey.
Y'all make me want to do a happy dance. But you guys be blessed, man, and I'll talk to you guys
Yep.
soon.
Thanks
Salute.
so much,
Yeah,
man.
I-
Appreciate
No
you.
worries, Kenny.
Take it
I'll
easy,
message
man.
you again, Kenny. Brilliant, mate.
Take care, man.
All
Yes,
right,
indeed.
we them boys.
We them
Yeah.
boys.
We them
Yes.
boys.
Sir.
Hold
There
up.
it is.
There you go.
Cowboys.
Yo.
Go on.
Yo.
All right, take care, man.
All
Let's
right.
get
Later,
it
man.
to Shark,
Good night.
y'all, man. Put
Thank
y'all
you, sir.
hands together for Kenny, man. I think he did a wonderful job of letting everybody know the ins and outs of everything. So put your hands together. That's Kenny the Shark. Yeah.
Like even like you like he was saying like, oh, y'all were like preaching and stuff like that. I said no, I'm just starving for chicken wings now. I'm
Starving for
telling you,
chicken wings.
I'm so
Yeah.
hungry right now, dude. I'm trying to die and getting shit in Dallas.
You know, what Kenny was saying, our chicken wings. So we are having
Yeah.
Kenny and I guess it was an away game. We were down at Lowe. We were having some chicken wings, me and Kenny and Lincoln. And I seen them talking, look at each other, and Kenny's like, Lincoln, give him a lesson on chicken wings. And he said, man, oh man, you got half the freaking. He said, my mom wouldn't let you invite you to the table if you let all those chicken. Look at all those chicken wings. You got half the wings have bones, have chicken on them. You left half a meal on your
wow.
plate.
Left meat on the bones, man. Got to get it all out of there, man.
That's right. Yeah. So Lincoln
Yeah,
gave us
yeah.
a lesson on how to eat chicken wing. You know, just take it off, take everything off of it, strip it down.
Oh, I forgot. What sauces you guys use? Are y'all big on ranch? Buffalo?
I love
Yeah.
buffalo.
Yeah,
Buffalo
that's
and
the
blue
hot
cheese.
Gotta have the hot sauce. Put some lead in the pencil. And
Yeah.
Man.
I don't even mind the. I don't know if you've ever tried the Jack Daniels, and it's a thick barbecue
Yeah.
sauce.
Oh, yeah.
That can be quite nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Should always try the Guinness sauce as well.
The Guinness sauce is nice. Yeah,
Never
that is
had
nice.
the Guinness sauce.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh,
It's
good.
quite
that's
nice.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very savory.
Savory.
It's much better on a steak, to be honest.
Yeah.
Rather than chicken.
Yeah.
It definitely it complements red meat much
That
more
Brian
than it does
cooked some of
chicken.
those up. So
Yeah.
God, we're
Yes,
turning
indeed.
into a cooking show now.
The cooking
Yeah,
show.
Yeah. The Sauce Podcast.
Yeah, the sauce. Cowboys experience.
Yeah.
The sauce.
yeah.
Talking
All
of
right.
I was
secret
going to say
sauce.
though, talking of sauce though, do you think the Cowboys are lacking some hot sauce? On the
No,
wide
I know where
receiver?
you're going with this. I know where you're going with this, and the answer is no.
All right. What
my
about
gosh.
speed? What about speed as hot sauce? Then we'll replace Beasley with speed.
Answer still no.
We don't know. You know what? I have a crazy prediction. And I'm not going to say that the Cowboys are going to win by 40 points. But I think that the Cavante Turpin, you know, the first game, you know, he got to get adjusted. Welcome to the NFL. I think that he's going to make some splash plays. He's going to be saucy this weekend. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think with it, yeah, I mean, I think with this game against the Bengals, it's like it kind of gives Kelly more and more of a okay. Let's just try it out and see what happens. Let's just try put Turpin in this position here. Let's put Ferguson maybe somewhere else, whatever, and that. So just now that we've Dax out, I think Kelly might just use a bit more, be more experimental, which I was not a big fan of what he did in the Bucks game, but I think right as of right now, I think he's kind of got more of that freedom off him.
Right. He needs to just get out of his comfort zone, you know, like rather than getting Schultz to go on corner outs, get him to come in and wham the nose. Why not do that for a change? Do something a bit different. Come in, wham the nose, take Zeke down the middle. See how that looks. See how it makes you feel.
Yeah, classic old school football game.
Yeah.
That's what the Bengals will do. They attempted to run the ball 28 to 29 times last game, even though they threw 4 interceptions. Joe Burrow, and he had 2 fumbles, believe it or not. But they were still a balanced team. It was a balanced team, and we have to worry about this guy called Hayden Hurst. He's sneaky tight end.
Yes.
Yeah. Hayden Hurst.
No,
Remember that name?
he's looking really good for the Bengals right now. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
He was a little quiet last year, but he has started this year fine. I will say that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's built that relationship. It's kind of like in a way what Schultz has done with Dak. He's built up that relationship.
Yeah. I don't think it's a lack of talent with Hayden Hurst. It's just
No.
that he's buried on a wide receiver core that has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd.
Well,
Yeah.
there's that as well, mate. But I think end of the day as well, it's like it's getting to know your quarterback. End of the day, like,
There is that.
and this is kind of goes back to what Kenny was saying. It's about the having that type of brotherhood, getting to know build those relationships with those players. So it kind of this whole conversation goes round in full circle right here, right now.
Yeah,
It'd
that's
be
right.
interesting to see how much extra time they put in after practice and working with the receivers and the guys. And I mean, the defense. I mean, you hold Brady to 19 points. You did a good job. You know, you should win that.
Yeah, I mean,
for the most part. I mean, still 19 points. I mean,
and the defense was getting bad field position too.
Yeah,
right.
So that's another thing too. Yeah.
See, I can't be too mad of how our defense performed. The only thing, because I played O-line. I played O-line. I played defensive line. So I was looking exactly what I was looking for, and I just kind of feel like we can't really rely on Parsons to do everything for us.
To be 90% of the production.
Yeah, like we know he's a stud, but we need the other guys to step up. But if there's something for this Bengals game, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this. Like, we know Lyle Collins had an absolute terrible game for the Bengals. Yeah. Like, I think he gave the majority of those sacks against TJ Watt and what's the other guy's name? Cameron Hayward.
Yeah.
Like, and it just wasn't. I felt kind of sorry for him in a way, but I kind of feel as though this could be something that like a D-Law and everybody else in the defensive line will be taking note on. Adam Dudley will be doing his homework on this and see how we can exploit him, because Leal looked really out of position, like really out of sync.
He did.
Really rough. He really did. And out of the whole offensive lineman for the Bengals, I thought could be the biggest threat for us, especially when it comes to the running game, is former Buccaneer Alex Kappa. I thought he was probably the best out of that whole line.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing is, Lyle Collins normally, if you look back, he normally don't have back-to-back horrible games. So that's the conundrum. And then we got to go up against another guy who's chomping at the bit, is Cheeto Awuzie. You know, Barry know about him, right? Cheeto. And he was very phenomenal in that last game. So we're gonna have to make sure that our wide receivers can get open and be mindful that these guys got to axe to grind.
Speaking about Parsons, I've got a question from Austin Powers here. Not the actual Austin Powers of Mike Myers, but he's a good friend of the show. Show comes on for the UK Cowboys, and he's now coming here for Cowboys Experience, asking, "What do you guys think about Parsons not doing this interview with Skip and Shannon?"
I love it.
Oh yeah, I love it. I spoke out against it. I didn't want him to go.
And this goes back to the culture.
Yeah, it goes back to what Kenny was saying.
I kind of feel it's like you're dipping into like Pandora's box when you're going on TV with these two.
Right.
I just like doing it just to screw them over. Me and Heckma Harrison were talking about it, and I was just like, I got to be honest with you. If it was me, I'd just do it just to screw them over.
And worry about the karma later.
Yeah.
Those type of shows is like Parsons going on to The View or something. You know, it's like a rating type of show where they clickbait and all of that. They take your words and spin it. You know, The View.
And this is why I'm a big advocate for I'm a big advocate for the Cowboys content creators like yourself, Law, and because we know what we're looking for. Like, as a fan, you get the more in-depth knowledge of about the team and stuff like that. You're not gonna get that. You're just gonna get clickbait headlines with the Herd and Skip and Shannon and Stephen A. Smiths and all that. It's all there for television purposes.
The stupid little clips and reels.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the proper conversation. You're not going to get the more analytical side of things and stuff like that. So this is why I think like yourself, Law, and everybody else out there doing content creation is like for within the Dallas Cowboys network, essentially out there is doing an amazing job.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. It would be nice if Parsons can come over here on this show. You know, that would be nice. You know.
Oh.
Hold on, Barry.
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 Sam, Marco. You know.
Law's got a good take in on it
That
too.
would definitely put one up on Shannon and Skip.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, Law,
10 minutes. Let's tell him just jump in for 10
All right,
minutes.
Law, let's
Even if
work
he just
on it.
comes in
Let's
and gives
work-
us a thumbs up, goes,
Let's
Yeah.
work on it, Law.
Okay, we'll work on it. Well, as we getting close to the ending here, do you guys want to put out your score prediction or
Yeah.
bold prediction?
My bold prediction is give me a wee minute. I need to think about it.
Okay.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it right, and it's not a bad thing when I say this. First of all, and I will try and get a workaround. I'm gonna say it's an overtime loss, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because it's Cooper Rush coming in for the first time. Wide
Right.
receivers are starting to look a little better, but the big one is our defensive ends, the bookends on the defensive lines start to turn it on. So it's all starting
need
to come
to.
together.
They need
yeah,
to, Mike.
they need to, yeah.
Like,
And they're gonna get a big kick up the rear end to get them motivated.
on it, like that's the thing. Like, it's not this is not my bold prediction, but this is the thing I really want to see the most is to see our edge rushers actually using
the
their
defense
speed in their hands to actually get around. Because
Right.
like we're saying, like Collins was very vulnerable when it came to the speed aspect. And sorry, my dog is desperate
You're right.
to go outside. Like he's constantly looking at me like, what the hell? But anyway, and also we need our interior defensive tackles to get off the blocks.
I didn't think they did too bad.
Right.
Honestly, if you're talking about the run defense, like we was talking about yesterday, for me,
I'm talking about more in the pass rush more than anything. We kept
okay.
getting jacked up. I thought
Okay,
run
I'm with
defense. We think we were fine. We were filling out the gaps okay in terms of the interiors and stuff like that.
it was
And
the corners.
Yeah.
Corners were the trouble on run defense.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Barry, you got a score prediction or a bold prediction?
Well, I was way off last one. I picked the Cowboys 23-20, so that didn't do so good. I think I was a little off.
I'll tell you what. Here's my.
I'm going to say probably 27-16.
Wow. Well,
Who
win? Who win? We win, right? Just 27-16.
I like the noise.
I tell you what,
I like the falls.
I'll tell you what, Law. I'll tell you what. My bold prediction is going to be a Cowboys win. I don't care what the score
it's
is,
bold.
but-
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's going to be a Cowboys win. That's the bold statement there.
Yeah.
I think they just got to come out and rally. They got to come out and just they got to come out fired up. They got to come out with full and not come out like, oh, the wind's out of our sails. They got to come up fired up and rally and let's get this thing. Let's keep this ship straight.
Yes, indeed, man. All right. So my bold prediction would be Simi Fihoko this weekend catches his
okay.
first touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah. Ponytail hanging out of the helmet and all.
I had a question before we wrap it up. Actually, is obviously we're not going to be without Jaron Curse. So who do you bring in for this game? Do you bring in Mukwamu or Marquise Bell? That's the question I've got for you guys.
To fill in for Jaron Curse, I think you go bigger since you're gonna have to stop Joe Mixon.
That's what I think.
That's a fair point.
You go with Jabril Cox. If you look at his tape from LSU, and of course when he played for South Dakota or North Dakota, one of those teams, he played detached from the box. I think that he's physical enough. He got the safety frame. He's built just like Cam Chancellor of the Seattle Seahawks and during those time frames. So yeah, I would go with Jabril Cox over Izzy McCollum. But I think that they could figure out a way to have McCollum as a active guy as well.
So you're only taking the two safeties in with you then for this game?
If it's McCollum over Marquise Bell,
Okay.
and Cox. I know all three will not go.
Mm.
It would be far as range, and I like his range. I like his style of play as it relates to free safety. It will be Izzy over Marquise Bell. I like Marquise Bell,
Okay.
and people don't shank me with the butter knife. But I just like the fact that if you bring out this type of a guy who got range, who got speed, you can now move Malik Hooker down inside the box. You got box safety that he can play down inside, as well as Donovan Wilson. He can play box safety, who played really well last game.
Really good. Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
All right. And here's one for just to finish off. At what time or quarter, if you want, do the Cowboys score their first touchdown? Because we're already at 60 minutes without a touchdown.
Okay, here's another. Okay, bold statement again. I'd say first drive. Why not? Why not?
Yeah. That opening drive. We score on the first drive.
I mean, it's bold enough. But see, we didn't do it the first time. We didn't even score a touchdown. It's like, why not just do it in the first drive?
Yeah, and if we score on the first drive, I think we are like 9-0 or 10-0 when we score first. So hey, it's a good incentive to score first.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And everybody I noticed this week has had a change of heart on Brett Maher.
He's our leading scorer, man.
That's right. That's right.
I'm still treating Brett Maher like a spirit level right now.
Yeah, we were saying about that when
we
we went through his stats yesterday, and honestly, they are crazy. When you look at the distance categories, they just do not make sense.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, so any parting words before we roll?
I think we're all good, my man. We're all good.
Good. All right. So everyone, please be sure, if you want to participate in the Cowboys experience and have a great time, please call today, 817-888-1726, and you will be in the mix.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Thank you all. Thank you all for your support out there. Cowboy Nation. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.